Welcome to this video about FlipFlops. FlipFlops is the Excel sheet or program I developed to help you study sims or solves, and especially when you run sims with many flops, like the subset of the 184 flops, and your solver will give you like an aggregation report, which is something like this, or a lot of numbers and a lot of data. I actually added this row to make it a little bit more easier to understand and read, but still there's a lot of numbers and not easy to see. For one specific spot, the solver obviously is very good and gives you a good overview of what to do, what to bet, etc. But for all the flops, the solver is not very good. So that's why I created this Excel sheet. And I will show you first how to use this sheet, and then how it will look like and what you can do with it. So first of all, this is your aggregation report. Make sure it's in the right order, the alphabetical order. You can just sort it in Excel. The input sheet is the same order, as you can see. After that, you go to the data here and you type in which spot you are analyzing. So for example, this is a 20 big blind spot. The bet size was 2.1. It's EP versus button, and we use the bet sizes of 30, 55 and 80%. You have to type this in. If you want, you can say, well, we had a 17.4% range or whatever. It's not necessary for the program to run. If you change this, it will automatically change here. So you only have to fill in the yellow cells. After that, you go to your aggregation reports. For example, you go to equity, you copy paste the full column, and you copy it here, and you use paste and only values. Yes. You do the same for EV if you want, not necessary again, but you have to do the same for checking, for bet size 1, bet size 2, and bet size 3. I'll show you again for bet size 3. So you copy in your aggregation report, you go to FlipFlops and you paste the values. Yes. This way, this is all you have to do. After this, all the other sheets will be filled. You'll see. This is the master sheet. The master sheet is still a lot of numbers, a little bit better already than the aggregation report, but I kept it in because some people might want to just use it or have a look. There's a lot of data extra, and there's some extra coding for all the different sorts of flops which I later used in the file. More important are these. As you can see, I created subsets of flops. So all flops, ace high, the different categories for ace high because there were many, the high boards, the broadways, the low boards, the monotone, and the paired boards. Let's go to all first. These are all flops, of course. And if you want to use this to study, you can just go here. And for example, if you want to know, I want to see which flops I have to check, you can just sort them here. And here you can see these are the flops you will mostly want to check in this spot. Or you want to say, okay, if we bet, on what flops do we like betting big, 80%? So you sort this column and then you see, okay, on these flops, you want to bet big most of the time. This is just an extra overview, and you can just play around with this and sort to see what to do on what flop, on all flops. Then, for all different subsets of flops, I made a different sheet. So these are all the ace high flops, for example, and it shows you the equity for the two positions and the difference, how many times you want to check, bet, and the different bet sizes. And here below here, it will give you the median value for all flops, for all the monotone flops, the non-monotone flops, the rainbow flops, the paired flops, flush draw, so the two-tone flops, and the connected boards. And this is just the graph connected to this data. As I have already told you, the ace high flop, there were many, so I made 2 sheets. Here you can see all the other sheets, the monotone, paired, flush draw, etc. This sheet contains only the high boards, which mainly means only Broadways, the 2 Broadways, the low boards, the monotone boards, and the paired boards. As an extra, but again, not necessarily, I added this feature. So if you go to EP, to the position, and you click it, it goes to this sheet. And if you want, you can copy paste like a screenshot of your range here, if you want it. And last but not least, I added a sheet with a test. So basically means what is your equity. For example, you say here it's, I don't know, 56%. If it's good, it's green. If it's wrong, it will be red. And so you can test yourself. You want to know what is your equity, how much you want to check, how many times you want to bet, etc., etc. Again, you don't have to use this, but it's just an extra sheet to study and to check or test yourself. So let's go to high boards, and I'll show you. I added a few extra columns. So what you have to do with this sheet, it provides you with a lot of data, gives you a beautiful overview, I think, of your aggregation reports and what you have to do on what flops. But of course, to really, really study it, you have to use your solver and this sheet together. So with your solver, you go to the specific flops, and then you see, for example, on the ace, ace, ace flop, we see we want to check almost 60% and we want to bet 40%. So you go to this flop in your solver and you can make some noise, like we check hands, we mostly check whatever. We mostly check under pair, for example, whatever. And in bet, we can say most of the time we bet Broadways or whatever. It's just an example, of course. So here you can just write down and make some extra notations of what you want to bet or what you want to check. And here you're going to see key points, whatever. If we bet, for example, like you can see here, like if we bet almost always. Yes. If we bet, we almost always bet small. Just things like that. It's just extra notes so you can help you study and you can save it under the name of the spot. So for example, 20 big blinds, EP versus button, that's the file name, and then you can go back to this spot and to really, really study this spot over and over again to really have an idea what to do and on what board in this situation. I hope it makes a little bit clear on what it is and what it does, and it's very easy to use. You only have to fill out the yellow cells and to copy paste the data in the green cells, and that's it. Okay, I hope you like the program, and I hope you can use it, and I hope you will help you in your poker skills. Bye bye and ciao ciao.